Slight delay. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Fern with Champaign Farm Builders, Biloxi, Mississippi. And I want to thank you all for allowing me for this morning into your real estate careers. And my company specializes in real estate needing remodeling. And today you're going to receive a lot of information that you've not heard before, which I think will generate questions. And so I'm going to ask that all questions be held to the end and written down and directed to Carol Andrews. So let her be our spokesperson for the end of the meeting. So why are you here today? The answer is very simple. For you to make more money simply doing what you do best, and that's listing and selling real estate, but thinking about a team approach. So what we're going to do is give you some information that will improve your opinion about listing and selling property needing remodeling and how you can make a lot of money working with them. These improvements will be to your memory and to your perception about using programs like the FHA 203K loan. So let's take just a minute and use our imagination, and let's put ourselves where the mindset of the client is that you just showed a home to. They like the property. Maybe it's just the location. They grew up in the area, have a lot of friends in the area. It's an older home that needs a new roof, HVA system, and they want to add on to the property to accommodate their family lifestyle. Now, they are the typical client, approvable, that's the main key, and that they are got the down payment and they've got their closing costs, but primarily that's it. So they're thinking, let's remodel or let's improve this property. And they're looking for you for help. So it's up to you to make their dream come through. So we're going to give you the information to help you write that client's contract. How are you going to get that? How is this going to happen? Simply by increasing your knowledge. First off, we're going to talk about the details of the FHA 203K program. When to use it, market potential, the details of a team approach, and a conclusion. We'll spend most of our time on the details. So what is the FHA 203K program? It is a mortgage loan for a buyer or a homeowner for a single-family home to a fourplex that either needs repairs or upgrades. So let's just talk about what was said. In other words, you can use it for that single-family home. You can use it for that duplex, triplex, fourplex. Wow, what's happening here? Here's a home actually being moved from one piece of property to another and then be restored through the 203K loan. I hope that you're starting to see the flexibility of this loan. So have you ever thought about using it for a home office? Let's talk about those uses again. Remember, we talked about a single-family home up to the fourplex. If that single-family home was in an area that was transforming into a multifamily neighborhood, you could turn that home into a fourplex. Vice versa, If that fourplex was in a neighborhood where things are moving back to single-family residential, you could convert it to that. So you see there's lots of uses through this program. Why not change this to this? That's right, you can take that 1970s kitchen and make it look just like the kitchen on HGTV. Or you can use the program to just simply do repairs. That is, instead of replacing it, you just simply take the countertops off, put in a new sink, faucets, because all of them are worn out and need the repair, instead of doing the total upgrade. So, as it states, it's a mortgage loan that can be used for repairs or upgrades. Item number 2 of this loan. Those qualified buyers can add the repairs or upgrade to the loan. Let's simplify this. You write your contract. I come in as the builder. I do a $50,000 repair contract. And together, they equal $200,000. And your buyer, the client, can secure one loan for all of the above. Let's go to the next portion. It allows the loan to close, then proceed with repairs. Wow, total contradiction to everything you've ever done with standard mortgage loans. In other words, you've closed it. You got your sales fees. The client seller has his proceeds. The client, the buyer, now has ownership to the property. Then the work begins. I know that each one of you over the last 2 years, or many of you over the 2 years, have experienced writing a contract on a property. The appraiser then goes out. He comes back with a repair list, say $10,000 or $15,000 is not unheard of. And this work has to be done, as you know, before the loan can close. Your sale's in jeopardy. So you go to client's buyer and you say, can you do the repairs? Well, I've got the down payment and the closing cost, but that's it. So you go to client seller. Ask the same questions. And he says, well, can you guarantee me this loan is going to close? Well, the answer is no, you cannot. So your sale is in jeopardy. Why put yourself in that situation? Next, the repair costs are calculated up front. Remember I talked about your $150,000 contract, my $50,000 in repairs. In other words, you've written your contract. Shortly after that, I come in and write mine. And this contract is based on the details of what your client asked for in the repairs or upgrades to the home. So they're already aware of it and they've already approved it before the appraisal was ever ordered. After the loan closes, that money is then placed into the escrow account, that $50,000, and then it is used to do the repairs as they go. Now, at the very bottom of this slide, you can see that I've put in, it's a mortgage loan for your client, the buyer, or the homeowner. We understand the client buyer, you can sell them a property. But you might be saying, why would I want to fool with a homeowner unless they're going to sell that property, or I've got an opportunity to sell them something else? Think about this. They very likely have owned that home for quite a while. That was a dream home when they purchased it. There are a lot of people that have moved and had a home and want to stay where they are. So maybe they're thinking of what the other client was. They want to add on. They've got a list of things they would like to improve on the property. And they may have money just to put the roof on, but that's it. If you as a realtor would introduce them to the benefits of this program, and at least let them know that it's there and exists, in other words, point them in that direction, and they pursue this and are able to accomplish what they want, they will never forget you And as it states at the bottom, they will become your biggest mouthpiece. Great advertising. When do you apply the remodeling knowledge you have in using this type of loan? You always apply it at the point of sale. It's a much better tool versus writing a contract on a property that you know needs repairs and simply hoping for the best. It's not a fallback salvage instrument. And just as general information, as it states on the bottom in green, that this loan has been on the shelf of the FHA since 1978. And I bet you didn't know that. Also, as you can see in red, and beside that, I have posted my personal phone number. I did this for a reason. I'm going to encourage you all at this point to write my phone number down, and this is why. Inevitably, a lot of people after seeing this program start thinking about this potential house or this potential client that you think might be good for this program. And in that process, maybe at this point you don't have quite the knowledge or understanding that you need, and you're not sure, excuse me, how to approach it with this client. So my invite to you is to make sure in that situation that you pick up the phone and call me. Together, we'll quickly analyze or analyze either the client or the property and help you to make a decision whether it's something to move forward on. So I encourage you to write the number and to give me that phone call. It will be very well worth your while. All right, what is the hitch with the 203K loan? The only hitch with the loan, in my opinion, is that it has to be owner-occupied. If it's a single-family home, that's simply put together. If it's a fourplex, of course, they have to occupy one of the units. So the loan limit for this program goes up for the single-family home to $271,000. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, think about this. On a duplex, it goes up to $300,000. The fourplex, or triplex rather, it goes up to $400,000. And a fourplex, it goes up to over $500,000. Again, lots of flexibility with this program. And question might be in your mind at this point, well, just how high can the repairs go? I will explain this in more detail shortly, but the repairs can go up to $271,000. And for the fourplex, over $500,000. So the loan program for the FHA, of course, like FHA loans are now over 4%. And the down payment is 3.5% of the loan. So you should say 3.5% of what? You remember your contract for $150, my repair for $50, total price of $200,000. The 3.5% is times the $200,000, the one loan. Also, this loan can go up to 110%. That's right, 110% of the loan to value. If there's a $200,000 appraiser, it can go up to as much as $220,000 if needed. There are two types. The first type is called the streamline. This is the one you're familiar with. The loan limit goes up to, for the repairs, to a total of $35,000. It's made for minor repairs, fixing the roof, the HVAC system, painting, flooring, that type of thing. This loan is the loan that most of you as realtors more than likely have heard of or are familiar with, and your mortgage company tells you not to, say, take those repairs over about $30,000. Understand, under these conditions, your mortgage company's already put limitations that should not exist on this loan. So understand that this is where limitations have been put on. Oh, by the way, a lot of the cost of the loan can actually be added into the $35,000 amount. So the way that correlates is whatever cost of closing are added in plus the repairs cannot exceed $35,000. All right, the next one is the 203K standard. That is for repairs that are major. This loan starts at $35,000, I should say here, and goes up all the way to what? 271 single family. It is for major reconstruction. That is structural problems. That addition we discussed earlier, major landscaping, those types of things. Again, you have your standard and you have your streamline. When the streamline is infected or put in place only, then it is being limited. Under our team approach, we do both of them and do them very well. So the question here is just how big is your market? And I think you as a realtor should really think about this and keep this idea in mind. I'm saying to think big. Now, I'm not going to look at the statistics here, but in Prattville, for those of you who are there, what would you think is the average age, or what percentage of the homes are over 20 years old? Of course, going up to is very old, 64%. In the city of Montgomery, what do you think is not the average age, let's just say, is the 20-year and older homes, of course, all the way up? How big a share is it in your market? It's so and so percent. So my point here is, how many of these homes do you think are already out of date and they're in need of repairs or upgrades? So what I'm saying to you here is that your market is huge, and so are your opportunities. Now, I'm going to give you a very good sales tip that if you will listen and go after, you could easily create a listing and sale over the next week. In your daily real estate activities, out and meeting listings and making sales, how many of you are aware of homes where, let's say, aware of properties, say in a subdivision or a small amount of land, where the home has been destroyed and there is left the slab, say the basement, and or some form of pier system that the house is sitting on? Now, some of these could actually be in a very good location, and a very good possibility that if you could show one of your clients how, they may be interested in building on that property. All right, here's the sales tip. Know that when you go out and try to obtain financing for new construction, probably your client is going to be looking at 20 to 30% down payment, which is preventative for most. If you can tell your client that you can put them in a new home on that piece of property for 3.5%, do you think it might increase your chances of, or 3.5% down, do you think that might increase your chances of selling that property? Well, also, let's add on to this. If you know a property like that, go out and meet the owner of the property, now that you have knowledge that no one else has, and convince them to go ahead and list the property with you and why. So if you create that sale, not only do you have your listing commission coming in, but if you go out and create a new home sale, coming to our company with this, we will gladly pay you a real estate commission on that sale. That is, I think, a great, excellent sales tip for you. All right. So what we're here about and trying to do is to change your perception about using programs like the 203K. And as it states, you do not have to have all the knowledge, simply work with those who do. I've said this in general, so I'm saying it more specifically. A quote from me is that The greatest opportunity comes to you as a realtor when you do what nobody else wants to do. And most people don't like taking time with these type of programs and working with them, both realtors and mortgage companies. And oh my God, what a great opportunity for you as a realtor and a chance to make a lot of money and become a specialist. So what just happened today? Well, first we started off with defining the 203K program. Number one, it's a mortgage loan for a buyer, owner, for a single family home to a fourplex. It either needs to be repaired or upgraded. Next, it is for a qualified client that can add the repair cost to the loan. Third, the loan is allowed to close first, then the repairs begin. And fourth, all the costs calculated up front. Once the loan closes, that's how that money is escrowed, and that's how the repairs are paid for. Now, the next thing came up is when to use it. Always use it at the point of sale. The two types. There are two types, or the streamline, which is $35,000. That's the maximum. That's the limited loan. Then you have the regular K, which starts at $35,000. Again, goes up to $271,000 for the single family and up to over $500,000 for the fourplex. That is the one that, from a team approach, we also specialize in. We talked about market potential. I'm saying to you, I think it's huge and there's an opportunity for you. Now, at the bottom is my email address in red. And I'm going to again encourage you to write it down because I am going to make an offer to you on the next page. And I'd like for you to respond if you are interested and let me know what you would like to do. I'll give you a moment to write that down. Okay, we've talked very little about a team approach, but a team approach involves 4 people. That's you, the realtor, your client, the mortgage company, and hopefully me, the builder. We should all approach any type of sale like this and working with a client and properties like this on a team basis. You get much more results and a lot happier people. Now, we can approach this from either a very detailed basis, as it states, or a limited basis. That's up to you. If you go detailed, we're going to talk about and learn the 203K timeline. Talking about the timeline, know that with the company that I work with, no matter the size of the loan, we always work, we always work towards the date of your contract to the date of closing to be 45 days. Are we always perfect? Not always, but a lot. Next, you learn the values on the property. Next, you're going to learn about cost. And then after that, the HUD minimum appraisal guidelines, something I teach by pictures. And then basic marketing ideas to help move you forward. That's the detailed approach. The limited approach is I have prepared up what I call a client PDF file about this program. This PDF file explains in brief about the program and in brief about the team approach and has a realtor's disclaimer in it for you. It is a great little file if you have a client that is of the opinion that you're of the opinion they may be interested in the program. Highly suggest that you have this saved on your desktop and you email it to them for an introduction. Now, any one of you who email me, I'm going to send you the PDF file. You will have it no matter what your decision is, but I would like for you to tell me how you want to go about it and again, those who are interested in. So we can go detailed, we can go limited, you decide. Now, at this point, I'm simply going to introduce from a team, this part of the team who I work with a lot. I am not going to ever push Bo Smith with Cornerstone on you as a realtor, but he's a great guy to work with, and he specializes in this program. And when I say specialize, realize he closes over 100 of these a year. I also do a lot of them myself. So again, there's our contact information and the details about the team besides you as a realtor and your client. Now, we have brought this to a conclusion, and I want to really thank you for your time, allowing me again into your lives. And I would assume there's going to be questions now at this point being handed over to Carol, and I will wait for Carol's questions so that we can all receive answers at the same time and hear everything.